How was Texas architecture influenced by geometry? We'll be looking at 6 periods of historical Texas architecture, beginning with the Indian pre-colonial period. Early Indian tribes were nomadic. They moved in search of food and optimal weather. Their shelters were temporary, made from hides and wood. How can wood be changed to create a geometric structure? Depending upon the geographic region of Texas, different natural resources were available for building. "1,200 years ago, the Caddo mounds were built from earth. How do you think lines and curves work together for these mounds? In the Trans-Pecos and Panhandle region, adobe was used for shelters. What can you tell about the shape of these Indian buildings? Why do you think Indians made them into these shapes? How do these Pueblo houses differ from the Caddo houses? How are the lines different? During the Spanish colonial period, 26 missions were built in Texas. The missionaries and soldiers brought traditional methods from Spain for construction and design. Notice the Baroque ornamentation. By the 1750s, all missions were abandoned and desecularized. This is the Alamo. It was a fort and housed soldiers. What types of lines and angles do you see in the Alamo? Why does it have a tall center front? During the Mexican period, little architectural development occurred due to political and religious conflict. During the Republican antebellum period, cultural influences from around the world migrated to Texas. One of the European additions were porches that were added to buildings. Why are the roofs of these early farmhouses so different from previous historical buildings? What types of angles are in the roof? During the Greek Revival period, communities developed and families wanted a neat, tidy home to raise their families in. The Greek Revival style reflected the need for order. It is geometrically symmetrical. It has equal windows, equal number of rooms on either side. The Greek columns in the front, again, emphasizing the need for balance and formal structure. What types of angles and lines do you see here? The Chisholm Trail was established during this period. It moved thousands of cowboys and millions of cattle and provided for economical development. How were the designs of the trading posts and towns during this time? The Chisholm Trail later became the early Texas Railroad. As the railroad expanded, it encouraged economic development. This development was reflected in the Victorian style as fortunes expanded rapidly and revolutionary changes occurred. The railroad was able to bring in goods, services, building materials, and you can see here that the elaborate materials that were used, and they're rich in detail, they're ornate. Here's a Victorian home designed by Nicholas Clayton. Notice the lines of this house. What's so special? Why does it seem like the house is off the ground? Here is the birthplace of President Dwight Eisenhower. It was a simple Victorian home. His dad worked for the railroad. This is St. Mary's Church in Galveston. It has the steeply pitched roof, pointed arches. Do all geometric shapes in buildings have a purpose? As we move towards the 20th century, homes changed. How is this reflection in home with the Industrial Revolution, with the addition of electricity, sewage systems, telephones? This is a house that's an octagon house. What's happening culturally due to health, and that people would be concerned that they would need more sunlight, optimal air circulation? This is the design by Henry Troust. He developed the modern prairie style. He was a protege of Frank Lloyd Wright. We will be building a model and creating a presentation. So in building your model, we'd like you to plan carefully for geometric accuracy. We'd like you to have your model be built to scale. And think about the historical period that you're studying, and have this reflected in your presentation as well as your design. Look forward to seeing your products. Thank you.